Hey, what's up everybody? It's Frank again and welcome to my channel 16 bits or higher. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that on this video I'm going to be putting timestamps or chapters for those of you who like to jump around and move up to the good stuff, so please feel free to use them. So for the past few weeks I have been playing Pokemon games on my handhelds, and I've been playing Pokemon FireRed and also Pokemon LeafGreen. And I have been playing these games in multiple devices, like my R36S, my R36Max, and also on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. And the reason why I have been playing with all three of those devices is because it's very simple to trade Pokemon with them. And on this video, I'm going to show you how to set it up and how to make it happen. So in order for you to be able to trade between your devices, the devices that are going to be trading with each other are going to have a really good internet connection. So you need to make sure that your Wi-Fi dongles are connected, and you need to make sure that they have a good connection to your router. And for the devices that don't require a Wi-Fi dongle, they also need to be connected to your router and have a really good connection. Something else that is required is that all the devices that are going to be trading Pokemon will need to be running on RetroArch, and specifically on RetroArch 32, because you will be using the gpSP core in order for you to be able to transfer Pokemon. Once your internet is set up on both of your devices, you're going to have to go into each one of those devices to your RetroArch menu and do some adjustments. So while you're in the game, you're going to have to pull up the RetroArch menu. And when you're on the RetroArch menu, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to your core options. And you're going to go to the link that says link cable connectivity. This is the reason why you have to use gpSP, because this is the only one that has it. If you try to use MGVA, it won't have this. So this emulates the cable connectivity that we used to use back in the day with Game Boy Advance consoles. So what you got to do is you have to set it to GVA wireless adapter, and you will have to do that on both devices. So here we got my R36, and your menu will look different depending on the one that you're running. So you do the same thing. You go to the quick menu, and what you do is you go down to core options and you go down to link cable connectivity, and you set it to GBA wireless adapter. After setting your link cable connectivity to GBA wireless adapter, what you're going to have to do next is you're going to have to go back to the RetroArch main menu, and we're going to go into the NetPlay menu. So what you do is you go in there and you're going to have to do two things. Okay, one device is going to play as host and the other device is going to be a guest. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the iPhone 12 Pro Max to be the host device. Okay, so what you do is you go into host, and there's a few things that you need to change in here, okay? Before you start the NetPlay host, you have to go to max simultaneously connections. You gotta change that to 2. And then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and where it says NetPlay NAT traversal, you gotta turn that off. And after you do that, then you start the NetPlay host. After you set up your device to be a host, something that's very important that you will need is you're going to need to get the IP address. So if you're going to be using an iPhone like I'm doing, you go to settings, you go to your wireless connection or your Wi-Fi connection, you click on the I for information, and if you scroll down, you'll see your IP address right there. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to write it down, because you will need it when you hook up your other device. Okay, back on the other device, make sure that you're connected to your Wi-Fi. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna connect to the host NetPlay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the RetroArch main menu, and we're gonna go down to NetPlay, and we're gonna connect to NetPlay host. And here's where we're gonna need the IP address of the other device. So let's put that in there real quick. And make sure you hit that little enter button right there. Once the other device is connected, you go to the counter and you start a new trader session. So it's going to ask you what you want to do. You go to the trade center, and would you like to trade Pokemon? Yes. And it's going to ask you to save the game. On the second device, you will do the same thing. You go talk to her, and you go to the trade center and you save the game. Okay, so on the other one, you gotta tell her if you want to be the leader or if you want to join a group. So since this is the server, I'm gonna say this one's gonna be the leader. So now it's saying that it's waiting for other people. So on the other device, it'll ask you the same thing, but on this one you're joining a group, and you're gonna join that other Frank at the top, or whoever you're gonna trade with. And it's gonna say that it's waiting for a response. And on the other device, you say yes. And both of you should be going into the room, as you can see right there. So let's see if we can do one at a time before this times out. Okay, you sit there. And then on the other one, you do the same thing. Okay, so right here is where we trade Pokemon. So on that one, I'm gonna send a man key. And on this one, I'm gonna send a PG. And I'm gonna say yes on that one, and yes on that one. As you can see, both of them got traded. Up to this point, the trade has already been completed because the game was saved. And right now you can cancel out of it if you want to. And then you go to the other one and you cancel this one as well. And then when the first person gets out, it'll kill the link. So at this point, I get a communication error and the iPhone freezes. And the only way to get out of it is by resetting the phone. But you're gonna see later that at the end, both of the devices got the Pokemon that I traded. So it did work. After the transferring completes, when the Pokemon get transferred from one device to the other, you will see the saving screen pop up. And also that will happen after when you trade Pokemon that evolve after trading. You will see that saving screen. So after you see that screen saving, the trading process is completed and you have no issue with your Pokemon. You're gonna have the Pokemon on both devices that you wanted. So that's not the problem. The problem is like if you're in the middle of the trade and there's a communication error before you do the trade, then you would have to start from the beginning, restart your phones and restart the device, and then do the trading process again. But that only happens when you don't have a good internet connection, or if you have a lot of traffic going on through your network while you're trying to do the trades. Like for example, in my house, my internet gets used quite a bit. The network is always busy. So if people are using the internet for gaming or for watching movies and streaming videos, it'll create some issues and it'll give me those communication errors, and I have to wait for all that stuff to be finished so that I don't have any problems. So the process is actually pretty simple and it works great. That's the reason why I started playing the Pokemon games on those devices, because what would stop me from playing Pokemon games was the fact that I was not able to trade. And now that I found a way to trade the Pokemon, I'm starting to enjoy the games again. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. And again, I'm going to ask you, please give me a like, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe, and I will see you again on the next video.